All right, as a quick recap, so we have done the prerequisites. So we have downloaded Terraform and installed Azure ZLI. So as you notice, we have already in place our Terraform with this version and the Azure ZLI with all its dependencies, and we are ready for the next step. Okay, so next for this guide, so it says we may need to authenticate. So using the AZ space login, make sure we're able to connect to our Azure subscription. And then after, you'll have to go to your Visual Studio Code and create a new file called main.tf, and we will copy this file. Okay, let's do that first in our Visual Studio Code. So this is where we are at in our Visual Studio Code. We have installed an extension, HashiCorp. So let me zoom in. Okay, and let's expand our Visual Studio Code, and we can go back to the Explorer. So basically we need to add the folder first. Okay, so add a folder, and let's go into our C dev Terraform tf. Okay, and perhaps let's create our first folder. Okay, so let's just try lesson number 1. Okay, and double click on this one, then select a folder, and it will be added into this Explorer. Okay, next is we'll click this yes, I trust the authors, and basically we can create our file here. Okay, so new file on this folder, and we can have it as main.tf. Okay, as you can see, it has the HashiCorp icon, okay, Terraform icon, and press enter. Then we go back to that website and copy this code. Okay, so we have copied in our clipboard, and let's go to our Visual Studio Code, and it's pasted here. So you'll notice 3 different blocks: the Terraform block, the provider block, and the resource block. In future videos in our Terraform, we'll explain it in more detail, but for now, so these are the required code which we have copied from the tutorial itself from the official HashiCorp website, and it's already here in our Visual Studio Code. Let's have a quick explanation of what are those 3 blocks. So first you have the Terraform block. So it contains the Terraform settings, including the required providers. So it will install the providers from the Terraform registry. So in this scenario, or in this sample code, the required provider is Azure RM. So that is the Microsoft Azure. So if you go to the Terraform registry, which is this link, by the way, so one of those providers is Azure, or Microsoft Azure. Okay, so to continue, next is the provider block. So the provider block configures the specified provider. In this case is Azure RM. So in our case, so not much is configured here, but in the future there are things that can be configured inside that block. Next and finally is the resource block. So the resource block defines the components that you want to deploy on your infrastructure. So it could be a server, it could be a virtual machine, it could be whatever resource or infrastructure. In our case, it is a resource group. Okay, so the resource block in this scenario deploys this resource group, or RG, and we will change the name and location suited for our deployment. A quick glance to my subscription in Azure, or Microsoft Azure. So you'll notice I did go to resource groups and filtered it with RG-Terraform, and there are no results. So that's the one that we will try to create via Terraform. The resource group name will be RG Terraform, and it should be in the Southeast Asia location. Okay, so we go back here to our Visual Studio Code and let's edit the name of this resource group to the one that we have intended. That should be Terraform, RG Terraform, and the location of this resource group will be under Southeast Asia. So let's save this file, updated file, and we have changed the resource group from the one that is given from this tutorial, which is this one. Okay, and we have changed the name and the location. Okay, soon we have more files as well. Like for now it's only main.tf, but we will have outputs.tf, variables.tf, or versions.tf. But for now, for the purposes of this video demonstration, let's settle first with main.tf. Okay, so next we need to authenticate. So as you can remember, it's part of the steps for that tutorial. So but before that, we can go to extensions and find Azure CLI tools. Okay, Azure CLI tools. Okay, so from Microsoft, let's install. Okay, so it's installed now. So let's go back here to our, and let's close this extension. Let's go back to our main TF. Let's go to terminal, new terminal, and we will type in our AZ commands. Okay, next I have closed and relaunched the VS Code so that the Azure CLI tools will be properly installed. Next we go to terminal and open new terminal, and let's see if it will accept our AZ command. So we type AZ login and press enter. Okay, so it will give us a pop-up window for us to authenticate. So let me authenticate with my account and select the subscription that I have in Microsoft Azure. Once you have authenticated, so it will display your subscription name. You'll notice I need to log in with the tenant ID. So in my case, I only have one subscription, so I'll just type 1 and enter, and I am now authenticated to that subscription. Next, before we can deploy, we need to learn some few Terraform commands. So this is the Terraform init. So to initialize our provider, as you can see here, provider plugins and so on and so forth. Then we can go for Terraform plan, and finally we could Terraform apply to apply our configuration and deploy it in Azure. Okay, so let's try Terraform init, enter. Okay, so it's initializing the backend. You'll notice also it creates .terraform and other files here in our folder. It's installing the HashiCorp Azure RM. Okay, so Terraform has been successfully initialized. Okay, so you'll notice also that Terraform has created a lock file, .terraform.lock.htl, to record the provider selections. So it's here. Okay, so let's clear the screen. For our next command will be Terraform plan, and let's take a look at what are the resources to be deployed. Okay, so the Terraform plan has done. It says Terraform will perform the following actions. A resource group will be created with the location Southeast Asia, and the name is RG Terraform. Before we type in the command Terraform apply, so let's go back to our portal, and to just refresh, there is no resource group in the name of RG-Terraform. Okay, so it will be created soon once our Terraform command, Terraform apply. Okay, so do you want to perform these actions? So plan, want to add, enter a value, only yes will be accepted. So we type yes, enter. So only yes will be accepted to approve. So enter a value, yes, and let's wait for our Terraform. Okay, so we have Azure Resource Group RG creating, and apply complete resources, 1 added, 0 change, 0 destroyed. Let's go back here to our portal and click refresh. And there you go. We have our RG-Terraform that is located in Southeast Asia.